our intro? Annabeth's over here.
We did it. It looked good.
I thought so too.
I loved it.
Thank you, Nyree.
It's our people music.
That's right. So, hello, Doodle and Chat with Friends. We are super excited to be with you here tonight on a very special Monday night. Mostly because Carrie can't type the right day and date, but Nyree reads her calendar. So excited that we're so excited that you're here with us tonight to Doodle and Chat with us.
Thank you so much, Carrie and Mandy, for having me today. I have been looking at you all from afar on Twitter and just loving what I see on Doodle and Chat. And I'm so excited that it's my turn.
Yay.
We are excited too. Absolutely. So you want me to get started? And I would like to share just a little bit about Nyree, if that's okay.
Yes, please.
All right. So our amazing guest tonight has been described as one of the kindest, most supportive friends and colleagues a person could ever ask for. She's definitely left her mark on education in her over 20 years of service to the profession, or as she calls it, her dream job. From K4 teacher to reading recovery to technology integration to her vast work in culturally responsive teaching, Nyree is always ready to help educators. She's the co-founder of Future Ready, a founding member of Equity in Action CA, and has been appointed to the Instruction Coaches Advisory Board for Future Ready School Organization. When she isn't on her Peloton or bowling with her personal bowling ball, she is supporting her football-playing son and coaching husband. I've always admired Nyree Clark from afar, and I'm so excited to doodle and chat with her tonight.
Welcome, Nyree.
Oh, thank you. You all did so well, did your homework.
We love.
I'm just so excited to be here with everyone, especially for Doodle. I'm like, everyone that knows me knows that I have the chat down pat. It's the doodle that I'm looking forward to doing today. And hey, everyone, I see all of my people coming in. Miss Taylor and Andrea and Yaritza. Yay! So excited.
So welcome, everybody. So before we get started, if you're new to Doodle and Chat or you've been here for a while, you know that we have the bowl that knows with us filled with special questions just for Nyree. And then there's also a few extra special questions in here that none of us know what they are. So if you're here with us and you want to, we're going to listen to Nyree answer the questions from the bowl that knows, and then we're going to doodle all about what she tells us about herself and her journey. If you want to join along with us, you can pick up a pen and draw with me and Mandy, draw your own answer to our questions or copy what we're doing. We would love to see what you have to share with us as we doodle and chat with Nyree.
Yay. Oh, yes, I'm ready.
Awesome. And so this is making me so excited. It's also making me excited about your excitement. What mumbling here? I'm excited. Your passion and your excitement to doodle is infusing. It's contagious. But you were sharing a story with us before we came on camera that it kind of is in your blood a little bit. This whole doodling, right?
Oh my goodness, yes. So I have to share. I share this with everyone, and I'm going to share it with you all as well. So I know I kept saying I have a fun fact. Hopefully my cousin will be in here soon because it is her father. So my fun fact for everyone is that I actually have an uncle who is a retired animator for Disney. And this is my uncle, Ron. So he has, we are here in SoCal, and I grew up watching him draw. So watching him doodle. So what that looks like is he would, come over to the house. All the cousins are together, right? And then I'd look over and my uncle would always have a sketch pad with him. Everywhere he goes. So he'd be sitting on the couch and then you would see little drawings of us playing or someone doing the dishes or someone outside playing, like just everything that was happening. So for him, he would draw everything. So can you imagine what this looked like when we would go to a football game? And we were at a football game, we're watching, watching people play. And then all of a sudden I'm looking around and I'm seeing everyone looking at him. And I'm like, why are they looking at my uncle? And they're looking at what he's doodling, what he's drawing. So he's drawing the plays. And for him, he would tell me everything starts with a circle. Like, you think I'd be better at drawing. Not quite. I didn't get that gene, but everything starts with a circle, And so what it would look like after that is really what my concept of what doodling is, because I would see these circles and these shapes and these lines, and then boom, all of a sudden you see the scene or you see what he's doing. But on the sketch pad, it was just always these little snippets of everything that was going on, us getting our hair braided, or us playing with each other, or like I said, us just at events wherever we were. And I grew up with that. And he has all of those sketch pads. He still has them. So he just goes through them and just draws everything he sees. So that's one of the things that he tells students when he is, just coming in, dropping in for a presentation, or just, as an artist or animator, explaining to them, as again, I taught reading. So I would tell them, who is the author, because I taught kinder, y'all, and who's the illustrator. And this is what an illustrator is and does. And so he would come in for that and really explain what that looked like. But for me growing up, it was just like those little snippets of doodles of everything we were doing. So it was like, that's no big deal. It's just Uncle Ronnie drawing everything we do. That's what it looked like to me. It was years before I realized he was getting paid for that stuff. I love it. I love it. So proud of my uncle. And that picture of us that you see, there is a bust that he created and drew for the city of Monrovia with for a cultural person that's within that city. So he was showing it to me. We have met up for something else. And he was, hey, did you know, I did this. And, I was going over there to kind of read up on it and look at it. So something that you could be so passionate about that could also become, your living, become what you do. And so, like I said, I completely missed that gene of being able to have that talent. But his son, he has 3 kids, and one of his sons has his same gift. He's gifted in artistry as well. So he worked for, when he was at Morehouse, he actually worked in animation and partnered with some students and created like a short animated movie. So yeah, like all of that. And so today, everyone, as we continue to doodle together, I will tell you what my pictures are, because I do not have that gift that my family has. But lots of doodling, lots of growing up, seeing these fantastic artists at work, and being able to really, I saw representational.
I was just thinking that.
Absolutely. So I did get to see pictures that look like me, with braids, or with the ponytails, or sometimes with our moms braiding our hair, And so my uncle also draws, he does this technique called crosshatch, which is very different than what he was paid to do with the company that he worked for, right? So crosshatch is like, it looks like just crisscrosses all over the page. And then when you step back, you have this wonderful picture. I was going to share a book with you. Oh, I have it. I do have it. No, I don't. I loaned it out to someone. So that's how I am with books. However, I have both of your books at home. I did not lend those out. But so my uncle illustrated this book for a author that was talking about students that weren't able to go to school. So they ended up creating, they got a boat, and they would have school on the boat so that the African-American students could still learn. And because it was on the river, there was that loophole that sometimes we're able to find. So he illustrated that book, and I was going to share, but no, I loaned it out.
Well, we could definitely put the title in the show notes, so anybody who wants to explore that book and look at it, they could check it out for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I will get that for you for
Awesome.
sure. But I love my uncle. I love my family. And this was a gift that I'd always wished that I could have and hone. But I did not stick with it. So I quite quickly realized I was definitely a little bit more oral. So I did not polish up. And then later on, as an adult, I'm starting to, oh, yes. Oh, yay, Yaritza. I'm sorry, I just got sidetracked. As I started to just grow that PLN and always still wanting to learn how to sketchnote and how to draw, I figured sketchnoting was my entry point because it's simple. It doesn't have to have all that detail, and then I could get myself past being able to explain, like, this picture is a cat. I don't care what it looks like. It's a cat. Which is what I would do with my kindergartners so many times. Yeah, I believe I agree with that. The art of storytelling, being able to really tell those stories with artwork, and being able to imagine being able to see yourself at home or with your family all the time. And then when you go to school, nothing, like crickets, So I love that there is just so much more representational art that students are able to access now. I was sharing with Yaritza that I used her book with one of our students, with one of the classes that I was helping. And then she was actually able to come in, and you know what? They noticed the artwork. That is what they wanted to talk about after that session. Of course, we had all the content in there, but what was it that really grabbed and engaged them was the artwork that they saw on all of those pictures. And then being able to actually have her in there and have that expert within the room was just phenomenal. And those students are still talking about that. So shout out to you, Yaritza, for always stepping in and stepping up for me. I really appreciate that.
Awesome. Yes. It's so important to have that mirror, and I would say that, I hear you say that you didn't get the art talent from your uncle, but the passion is definitely, something that you both share.
Oh.
So you both have found your voice, right? His was through drawing, and yours is through advocacy and making sure that educators continue to do better for all students.
Absolutely, Carrie. Absolutely. Thank you for saying that. I hope that when people talk to me that they are able to feel that sense of advocacy, because I feel that's definitely one of my core values.
For sure. For sure. It was very evident in all the learning that we did about you that it runs deep. Yes.
Oh, I love that.
All right. Are we ready for the bull that knows? It's waiting. It's whispering. It's like, don't forget about me. I'm right here.
Yes. I want to see the bull. What's in there? What's in there?
All right. So we're going to turn on our cameras. What's going to turn our cameras on for us? And I couldn't help it. I had to start doodling while you were talking.
I did too.
I was like, I had to do a little animation, and then I'm working on, I really want to nail this. I wanted to work on like a Sleeping Beauty mirror, because you were talking about, mirrors, right? Being able to see ourselves and things. And I was like, I really got to nail this. It's not going the way I want it to go. It looks like a lollipop or a balloon right now, but I'll get there. But I really want to for you.
What you all have looks fantastic.
And I wanted it starts with a circle. Everything starts with a circle.
Yes.
So.
I love that. Am I supposed to show you what I've done?
That's okay.
I'll get there. I will get there.
All right, Annabeth, you want to give us our first question for Nyree?
Okay. What did you refer to being in education as your dream job? Oh, why?
Yes, why?
Why?
Why did you refer to being in education as your dream job, Nyree? You know what? I came to education in a very different lens. So I actually graduated with a degree in human development with a emphasis on child development. And so I wanted to save the world. Oh, yes, I did. I wanted to be a social worker. So that was where my heart was, like, I'm going to help children. I'm going to get in there, for kids that are, that have issues and struggles. I grew up in some very challenging situations. So I wanted to be able to be a help for that, right? So thank goodness at my high school, they had a program where you were able to shadow a person in that field at the county office, right? So I got to be with a social worker for the day, and I found out I could not handle social work. I want to take everybody home with me. I wanted to, it was hard. I had a hard time leaving people in a situation, and not being able to do that. So imagine graduating after all that time. Did you, Anne? Oh, yes. Yes, the stress of it, I'm telling you. So imagine all that time that I spent, getting this degree. This is what I was going to do. And now I had a pivot that I wasn't really quite ready for. So another uncle that I had, that I have, was my former superintendent of my school district. Oh, yeah. Fun times, right? And so he's like, hey, while you're trying to figure yourself out or figure it out, why don't you just start subbing? Just start subbing, you'll make some extra money. And I was working retail at the time. I was a makeup girl, ladies. I did makeup for people. I did makeup and cosmetics, working myself through school, right? So I started subbing, and boom, I was always told something, that you are gifted in something when it comes easy and natural to you, right? And that was easy and natural for me. And I was like, oh my goodness, I could help kids here without that need of feeling like I had to rescue or, take everybody home or anything like that. So that is how I came into education. And as I started working and being able to just build those relationships, that's something I think that I really am gifted in, because when I meet someone, I want to know you. So many times, that too much information, I probably give way too much information, because I'm like, hey, this is me. I want to know about you, and like Yaritza, I met Yaritza on Twitter, totally hawking her down, just like I did you too, Carrie. Like she was presenting. I was like, ooh, I love this girl. I love the way she presents. And I just followed her through everything. And she was just as genuine as I was. If I reached out, she would, reciprocate. And over the years, I feel like she is family, complete family, just building those relationships. So teaching is like that for me. It's relationship building with students as well as the adults that I'm working with. So that's why it's my dream job, because it comes naturally. And it's like, I get paid to do this because I would do this anyway. So, when those people that are doing all the side jobs at work or hanging out with people, being able to do those extra professional development, that's me, and I have really good friends that I call them my friendagers, because Yaritza is like that as well. My friends at work that will help to slow me down when I'm trying to do too much, too much of everything, and introducing me to the wonderful world of saying no sometimes. So it's an art, but that's why it's my dream job. Like, I get to talk with people, I get to work with students. Just recently looking at what leadership means in a different lens. So that's new for me. I will say that with the murder of George Floyd and going through those social injustices and being able to have some real critical friends that I was able to work that through, Yaritza being one of them, just talking about what that looks like what are shifts that I can make. And the shift that I could do that, again, came naturally to me, is being able to work with teachers and students. So if we are having, if we're having this misconceptions of people, if we are not able to really build on those multiple perspectives, where does that start? It starts in school, right? So how can I directly impact how teachers are teaching? And that's when I started digging into culturally responsive teaching, started looking at what that looks like. Of course, Yaritza, that's how I found her. She was already about it, doing all the things. And I'm like, what what is this? What does it look like? Show me what that looks like. And then building that that community of, that's what a PLN is that personalized group of people that are your focus area, right? And really digging in that and looking at some pieces that of me that may not have been so pleasant, or maybe I didn't see it in a certain way, or maybe like, ladies, I'm 50, I've been in education for a while. Maybe it's unlearning something that was something that just was second nature. Everyone has a bias. So dealing with some of those and being able to have friends and PLN members that are just a multiple age range, like to me, like Yaritza, she keeps me young. She keeps me young. I could never not be with her. My son thinks she is the most beautiful person on earth, right? Beautiful. Just FYI. He probably won't ever watch this, so I'm free. I'm free from putting him on blast. But I just love being able to have that multiple perspectives. And when I'm a GATE teacher, so gifted and talented education, I support, and looking at those prompts of depth and complexity and looking at like multiple perspectives and how does that critical thinking skill impact other things? That's really where I started to kind of hone in on being able to level up my pedagogy over the years, right? And so even at 24 years in education, I feel like I'm still learning. And so to backtrack back to the George Floyd, and when I was going through that and I was talking with my friends, that is when I started my doctoral program, because I wanted to know information at an expert level that I could speak to, that I knew for myself. I wasn't getting it from other people. I wasn't just hearing it. I wanted to research it and be able to speak it for myself. And when I started looking into, just educational justice in general, my doctoral program is in educational justice and leadership. So that's when I started looking at leadership. And I have to tell you, ladies, I used to think leadership was just for principals and administrators, and that's what a leader was. And I did not realize that, leadership is about your power of influence and how you're able to use that to create change and shifts. And that was eye-opening for me. So that too was another kind of sense of unlearning that I had to do over that period of time, of seeing that leaders can look different. And I don't have to go into be an administrator, because I'm like, I'm never going to be an administrator, right? I'm never going to do that. But looking at ways that you could shift, like your professional development, I really, really have been interested in that. I got into adjunct teaching. So I've done that twice in ed tech. So just kind of, leveling up my pedagogy and my experiences, and being able to really share that part of myself with other people. Like, I keep thinking, what am I going to give back? Like when I retire out, and Mandy and I were talking about that. When you're retired, like what will speak for yourself. So I hope that I'll be able to kind of leave some of those best practices, and learn. I'm still learning with everyone else. So I don't even remember where this question was going, but those are my ending thoughts.
We just listened and learned and soaked you all up, and I just kept drawing and drawing and drawing.
I love that you guys are outstanding. Oh, Andrea, thank you. I feel like you were so approachable too. Oh, Yaritza, don't tell Peyton what I said. Oh, and I bet you would have been a great social worker. That position is not for the faint of heart, I tell you. It's like a service, like police officers, and
Takes a
you
special.
have to be able to leave some of that.
Yes. Are we ready for another question?
Yes.
Yes.
What is Equity in Action California, and why is this group so important to you?
Oh my goodness. Let's see how much time we have. Okay. when we talk about equity in action, I will tell you, okay, let's start with PLN. So your personal learning network. I was going to these conferences, so going to technology conferences in Southern California, and I'm looking around and I'm seeing that there are just a lot of people that don't look like me, so when I go to the conference, I may not know anybody because your district may have only sent one person, or your school may only send, one or two people, and you guys are split. So I didn't really see anyone that looked like me. When I looked at the branding, when I looked at, pictures, just no connectivity there. And so a group of friends, after one of these major conferences, we were all just kind of talking about it, like, did you notice this, or how did you feel about that, or when you were in this session, how is it when you're just the only one that looks like you, and what can we do to increase diversity in creating inclusive spaces, like welcoming spaces. So there was 6 of us that kept having the same conversation over and over. So we decided to actually get together, join forces, and ask a conference if we could come in and pull some data. So we actually did a participatory research study. That is what Equity in Action is. We're a participatory research group. So we one of the ed tech conferences allowed us to come in and just ask who's in the room. So we had Post-its, and we asked people, like, how do you identify? So like me, when I would do my Post-it, I had African American, I had woman, educator, mom, Christian, dog mom, athletic, back in the day. So these were all like these identifiers. So we asked people, how did they identify themselves? And we had a big chart paper on the wall, and people would, that wanted to participate, they gave us our identifiers. While the conference was going on, we pulled all the data, and at the end of the conference, we were able to share a Wordle of who was in that space. So how powerful was it for that conference organization to see who was there and already in that space, and then where could they expand, or what are the voices they could amplify? So maybe if the Wordle didn't show a lot of males, maybe that's where they want to promote the next time, or build some welcoming and inclusive spaces in that respect. Or maybe it's diversity. How can we make sure that what we are creating, those spaces, learning, professional development spaces, feel welcome, so people want to attend? If you don't see a representation of who you are, then sometimes you don't feel you're supposed to be there, so you just won't go. So a lot of times people will, I know that when I would go to conferences, I would ask, like, hey, and then you kind of get a little group of people that you're like, okay, I'll feel safe in this space because I have these people with me that I feel safe with, and then
Right.
you'll migrate through it. So Equity in Action started like that. We started pulling data, and what was the first year, we just went around, pulled the data, but what was magic? The second year, those conference organizations allowed us to take it to the next step. Like, what could we do? What are some strategies we could do to be more inclusive? So our little group has been able to really help to add more of an inclusive, welcoming space to some of these places, just by giving them strategies or experiences, or brainstorming, thought partners. We're not perfect. We are just a group of teachers, educators at various different jobs that all came together to try to make that shift. And it's been fantastic. I will tell you all that I'm on a little sabbatical while I work on my doctorate, but the things that I see them doing has been fantastic. And most recently, there is a Google, Google and another, not Google, I won't say Google. I will say there's a new conference that has just started in Southern California that has asked Equity in Action to be in the ground floors of producing this conference for the next year. So instead of waiting until after the fact to figure out how we could be more inclusive, they're starting in the building stage so that they're building it into what they're doing. And I think think it's been maybe 4 or 5 years that we've been together. That's just monumental, being able to finally, get in, be able to contribute to different conferences in that way. We've even hosted some of our own, we call it Quatarium. So some of our own events, free events, of course, where people have been able to come in and just hopefully we have created a safe space to have those brave conversations, courageous conversations in areas of equity, and just being able to share with each other ways that we could create, equity, inclusivity, making sure that everyone feels valued and seen. And what has been empowering is, as you go to these different conferences, each community is different. So what their needs are and what that community is looking for is a little bit different. So that's been eye-opening as well. That's been a blessing. So Equity in Action, California, they're my squad. I love those people. And they have allowed me to jump in and out where I'm there whenever I can. So I look forward to finishing up this doctorate and being able to get back with my people and just, hang in there and figure out ways that we can continue to provide that experience for people in professional learning settings, because that's huge too. Like we want to feel included and want to have that sense of belonging in the spaces that we are learning in as well. So
for sure, I love that. I love that approach. I feel like that approach could be applied to even classroom settings and things like that. That lesson of taking data and taking notice of what's assessing and then going backwards from that, and then hopefully in the future not needing to assess, but instead, like what you said, having the kit to build it so that it doesn't have to be repaired because it's not broken.
Absolutely. We even created some protocols of how we collect the data for other conferences that wanted to do it, and we just weren't there. So I remember IdeaCon, Maria from IdeaCon asking, like, how do you do this? I want to do it here. And that was before any of us, could get over there. And so they did it, and they were able to share that data with us. And then we were able to kind of have those conversations from that. So even creating on our website, we have a protocol that other people can do. So we're wanting it to be something that you don't need us to facilitate, but here are the protocols. Here's how you can start that participatory research in your own community, and then go from there, and just start doing the work of just amplifying those small places, those voices that are small in the Wordle. And then, hey, how do you keep the people that you already have there as well, right? So being able to kind of do that balance within it.
I love it. And we'll make sure that Mandy and I will put that in the show notes too. That for anybody who wants to take a look at that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that's the first time I've ever drawn California. And it's all
I love it.
I was watching it. You did a good job.
Well, I have my handy dandy Google.
I love it. It looks like California. I love it.
Google is amazing.
And thank you. I see that you noticed, like, that collecting data part is exactly like you said. It's not just about collecting the data and not doing anything with it. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say too is on our website, we would put the data on the website. So other conference people could go back and just kind of check. So it wasn't anything that was hidden. It was just being able to see, like, this is what's going on in these different places. And maybe these are some strategies that you might want to jump into. Oh, ladies, this is fantastic. Oh my goodness. Yaritza, you didn't tell me it was this fun.
We love our friends here at Doodle and Chat.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I think we're ready. Let's go for it. Another question. Give us another question. That's the only one I know.
Oh, my cousin. Okay, she wasn't able to get in, I don't think, but she did text me. So the book is called Steamboat School, and the author is Deborah Hopkinson. So that I will be putting in the show notes.
Awesome.
she's laughing. She's like, I'm listening to you talk about me. I sure
Aw.
am. I love it.
All right, let's see what the Bull's got, Annabeth.
You make a point
Oh,
to
yes.
highlight your personal learning network or your PLN on your website. Why are they so special to you?
You've already talked a little bit about this.
Okay. Well, you know what? What I love about my PLN, I will say, I'll be honest. I think I could have been a little bit needy in the beginning. So I'm very connective, you know. So when I started with trying to create that PLN, because I did like most people did at the very beginning of using Twitter, I was a consumer. I just took, you know, from everyone. But then as I started to shift to like, okay, you know, that one word goal, my one word goal was share. Like, you need to share something so you're not just taking all the time from other people. So my PLN is so special to me because I was able to be very collaborative with them, you know. So like I have referenced Yaritza a lot, and it's because I collaborated with her. So I got connected with her, and then we would have conversations. We would meet up when we would have breaks and like, hey, let's just jump on a Zoom. She lives in New York, y'all. I live over here in California. It could be done. Like you can be friends with people out of your state, you know. And that's so powerful as well. When I was learning how to do hyperdocs, no lie, I reached out to the hyperdocs ladies, all three of them. I just put up a white flag, like, anyone, can you help? I'm doing this PD. I'm presenting hyperdocs. I want to make sure I do this correctly. You know, this is what I'm thinking of doing. Can I get any feedback? And I'm thinking they're not going to answer, but hey, maybe someone else will. They actually answered. So Lisa Highfield and I had a deep direct message thread going back and forth. And she's like, hey, if you have all four of those critical thinking skills, if it's if you show communication, collaboration, critical thinking, students are able to creatively create something, you have a hyperdoc. So this is back in the day. I mean, it's still evolving, but like that, you know, my PLN has been so interactive with me, and I have really loved that. So I do feel like they're family. When I do my dissertation defense, I'll be like, okay, where are my Flipgrid friends? Where, you know, Yaritza has to be there. Like all of these people, Yaritza and I have never met in person. We've talked on Zoom. We have never physically met in person, and I would do anything for that woman, you know? So like your PLN becomes like that. Carrie and I have never met. We talked for the first time today, and it was like, but I felt like I knew her because I'd been following her for so many years on Twitter and looking at what she's doing and how do you do that? And hey, I have some questions about sketchnoting. And she's like, hey, we have this Doodle Chat. You can come on in, you know? So like, that's the power of a PLN. Again, they're focused, because if I'm looking for culturally responsive pedagogy, then I'm going to follow those people that are sharing resources or sharing that pedagogy. So that's one aspect of your PLN. You know, and as your focus changes, you start adding, you know, different people. So as I'm starting to learn about computer science, thank you, Sonal. Sonal Patel and computer science, she just wheeled me in. So as I learn more about that, you build, you know, you bring in more people there besides the people that you work with, you know. So I started my PLN with just following my superintendent and the people that I worked with within my district. And from there, I started looking at my interests. My district was not I couldn't find all the people that were culturally responsive practitioners, so I wanted more. So that is where I was like, okay, you got to step out of that of, you know, that cushion of, you know, who you know, and get out there and start seeing what else you can find out. And then that's when I, you know, Flipgrid had a 3-part series that Yaritza did, and you know, I was at all 3 of those parts, all 3. I think it was like 3 months or something like that she was presenting. And I just, you know, had a really strong connection with her. And she too is led by advocacy. So we had, you know, that shared belief. And I think that's where you build. And on Twitter, what I've loved about it over the years is I just felt like it was a place where people really wanted to see you grow up and blow up. They wanted to really help you. So like Mandy told her about my dissertation. She would totally be like, you need any help? I will help you. What do you need? Let me know. Like that is the power of a personal learning network, at least the one I belong to. So I don't know if I've just gotten lucky or if I've curated this special group of people, but you know what I mean? That is the power of being able to grow those people, that friendship, those connections outside of your district. And I feel like my PLN is like family to me.
Agreed. I mean, Mandy and we met once in real life, and Mandy decided to make me her friend. That's the funny story that we tell. Denver ISTE.
That's right.
But we must have connected on Twitter first, right, Mandy?
We did, yes.
Yeah. And then I share a similar story to you that one of my very dearest friends, Stephanie Crawford, I met on Twitter and then met in real life. And that was the end. That was the end of that story. You and Desiree met for the first time a couple of months ago, right?
Yes. So everyone that follows Dr. Desiree Alexander, I have been following her forever. You know what? During the George Floyd situation, she actually created private spaces for us, people of color, Black people, to get together and just kind of heal with each other. Never had met her, hadn't followed her a lot, but there I was in this space, in this healing environment. It was fantastic. And then I started following her. She created some opportunities where I could, kind of share some work. And yes, when she came to California, I was like, oh my goodness, you're in Southern California. I will come to you. I love it. I will come to you. I will find you wherever you are. And we were actually able to go to dinner. But this is the funny part. And I bet you this was true for you, Carrie. By the time you meet them in person, you know them so well that you still feel like we must have already done this, because you're so attached already. And yep. we kept saying, like, is this our first time we really met in person? Because it felt just like family with her.
Agreed. There, pre-pandemic, there were a couple times when I would tell my husband, I'm like, honey, there's a couple of friends that are coming to spend the night. Have you met them? No, but I know them from the internet. They'll be fine. I promise. I met them on Twitter. And all I could think of is, like, if my kids go to school and say, yeah, my mom, she has people spend the night at our house, but she's just met on Twitter. But
she just meets them online.
Just meet them online. They can sleep in our house. It's fine, no problem.
I know them.
But I agree with you. I think your PLN is what you make of it. I think we do get lucky, but it also is curated for you, by you, and the people that you let in are special because of that connection that we have with each other.
Absolutely.
And if you can make the right connections, and if you can find that PLN, I mean, I told you that's what my dissertation was all about. Yes. And I am telling you what, the people, my PLN that I found on social networks, they really helped mold me into the educator that I am. And everything you were saying, I get it. I do.
You know what I find too with the PLN is I feel the most safe to take risk, because I feel the most supported. So if I'm going to try a lesson, like, okay, this is the lesson I have, I can talk it through. But if it bombs, or if it's just not right, or if I didn't articulate something, or if I miss thinking about something in another sense, then they're there for you, and not in that judgmental, I'm going to jump on you for making that mistake, but hey, how can we make this better the next time? Right. And so I feel comfort in that space, because maybe that may not be my work environment, or maybe that may not be how I've, progressed through the professional part, but with my PLN, I can do that. And I feel like I've grown the most, like you said, Mandy, in those experiences, because I do feel safe enough to take those risks, to try it, try something new, try the new tech, try it, see what it works like. If it's not quite right, then what could I have added, or what was an element that was missing, or what is the the biggest bang for their buck. You know what I mean? And so that has been one of my my biggest takeaways and like kind of aha moments. And in that is just really feeling safety and being brave in that space.
For sure. 100%. All right, your kid. Are we ready? Nyree, so you have a line on your paper?
I wrote this much. I'm getting there. I told you I was such a talker.
Oh, I love it. Perfect. It's the best. We love it. I don't even know where you snuck that in. Were you like writing and talking at the same time?
Probably. I told you the talking will come naturally.
But
I love it.
I didn't even see you drawing.
I sure did.
Sneaky, sneaky. All right, lady, you ready?
Mhm.
Okay, here we go.
What does your perfect burger or sandwich have in it?
Ooh, a random question.
My goodness. Okay.
In California, there's some good eating over there.
Oh my goodness. Yes. My husband and I just tried to go to this hot dog place that had, so this was going to be the hot dog place I chose and they were closed, but it had mac and cheese, of course, bacon wrapped. If you can tell, carnivore, pastrami. It had, what else was it? Oh, mashed potatoes. So I am totally thinking I'm going to eat this with a fork, right? Like knife and fork. So my burger in what is that place called? Ocean Beach. In Ocean Beach in by San Diego, there's a place that's called Hodad's. I don't know if anybody has had Hodad's burgers, but they have a bacon burger that the bacon is a circle like this. Everyone, they cook it in, you know, like when you have the eggs and you cook it in the little perfect, that's what they put the bacon in to make sure it's a complete circle and round. OMG. And then they put it right on your burger and like 2 stacks of that and cheese. That's why I have to ride the Peloton. I eat well. I do love when I've been on the East Coast, anything with lobster. So,
yes,
lobster, mac and cheese. When my sister-in-law and I, we did a tour. We started in New York, drove all the way up to Maine. And every pit stop along the way, we got lobster rolls all the way up. So there was a place in Connecticut that had a pizza with clams on it. I forget the name of that place. But my food addiction is pretty high. I will say that we've seen all 50 states. So my husband and I have taken our son to see all 50 states. So we're already done.
Wow.
And we got the book of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
I love that
yes,
show.
we did. And
love
we
that.
would, when we were in a state, we would look up those places. Oh,
Yes.
yeah. And we would eat. Oh, I am such a foodie, you all. I love it. So we did that along the routes. We would go and, we would food and eat all the way up. So this Christmas, we're going to be able to go to New York, and we are already like, people are talking about places they want to see and all of that. And we are like doing a list of all the places we eat. And that's why I love that Yaritza posts food pictures. Other people may not like food pictures. I love food pictures. So tag me in all of them, people. I love your food pictures. I want to know where to go eat. What's the best place? I want to see what it looks like. And oh yeah, I'm there.
Love it.
I do. That's my favorite show. All those food shows, the diner, what is it, Guys Grocery Games. I love that too. Like you're gonna make something with $5. Yeah, show me how that's done. I love it.
Have you seen the Netflix series? I hope I get the name right. Feed Phil.
I have not.
Is that the right name? Somebody knows what it's. Was he a writer or a director? And he goes around and he does this, but he does it with food. It's so fabulous.
Oh.
And I
would love it.
I think it's called Somebody Feed Phil or something like that. It's just, I think he was the writer or the director of Everybody Loves Raymond. He's just delightful,
Oh my goodness. I will look at, I have a list of things to do, Carrie, after school is done.
I haven't seen that one either. I am such a Food Network nerd. I swear.
I love it. Network. And I don't like to cook. So that's, I love to eat. I do not like to cook. So my husband, Thank goodness for him. He does all the cooking. And we met in high school. So he knew what he was getting. That's my claim to that. He knew it from there. Oh, somebody fed Phil. Thank you.
Yeah. It's a good one.
I will remember that. Oh,
Use it
Mandy,
here.
what are these tools that you are using? This is fantastic.
So I use Procreate,
Okay.
and these are just my different colors to choose from on Procreate. So got the mashed potatoes and the mac and cheese on that hot dog. We've got the circle bacon and
do I get to have a copy of what you all have drawn? I'll give you my wonderful copy.
We post it. Yep.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That is fantastic. This is like the fastest hour in my life.
It does fly. It's super fun for sure.
High on the hog. Ooh, writing that down too. High on the hog. That sounds like a nice pork pitcher.
Oh, also, since we're talking about food, Stanley, what's his name? Tucci did one on Italy. That was so good. And he is so fun to listen to and look at.
I love Stanley Tucci. He's one of my favorites.
But the food, the Italy and the history and everything, I just couldn't get enough of it. Really good show.
Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you for sharing, everyone. I love it. We're foodies at heart. Yeah, so that's what we do now. What is it? After all these years, we sit around and watch food shows and
I know,
right? Play rock, paper, scissors on who's gonna cook.
Is that close enough to drive to? Do you think?
Right?
I love it. That? Can we get that to our house?
Oh my gosh, all the time. If the pandemic did not leave us with that, they left us with getting food to your house quickly.
That's right.
Oh, Yaritza, thank you. It's about the history of African American cuisine and the connection to Africa. Oh my goodness, I am on it.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. That was fabulous. All right, I think we have time for one, maybe two.
What game or movie universe would you most like to live in?
Ooh.
What game?
Or movie universe would you like to live in?
Oh my goodness. Of course I would live in Wakanda.
Oh, yes, of course.
Oh my goodness. And I want to live in Wakanda with the ability to swim down to Talokan if I want to. Oh, that would be fantastic. When I saw that the first time, when I saw a Black Panther the first time, like just being able to see that, even that amount of African-American actors and actresses on set, I was like, where did they get them all? Like, oh my goodness. So I would totally would love to do that. Would love to be there and to live there and to be able to have that kind of community. That's how I feel when I go to DC and Atlanta. Oh yes, Wakanda forever, Brittany. Absolutely. That would be my dream, to like have that type of technology and that type of gosh, dare I say power, like that type of influence in that space. Oh, and Sano's here. Yep. I love it. So oh yeah, I won't spoil anything for anybody else for Wakanda, but I love water. So yeah, both of those. I'm such a I love sci-fi, right? So I used to watch Stargate all the time. And yes, because again, going to those different universes, seeing those different worlds was all so intriguing to me. Like what could it look like? For whatever reason, people, I've never seen like Star Wars. I know I'm an anomaly, but Stargate did it for me. So I loved being able to be able to watch it and not quite know what that world was going to look like. And then, what the shifts were. That was just so fascinating. So I really like both of those spaces.
I also loved Stargate. I mean, I just, any movies like that where you can explore, I call it the what if.
Yes.
I love when they explore the what if.
Oh, my work friend, my movie foodie friend. Oh yes, my poor work people. My work family. They're always hearing about all my food, my food addictions and movies. I love it. I like to get lost in that, to get lost in that science fiction kind of, I've always loved learning about when we did astronomy and stuff like that. So being able to build in that space. But oh yeah, those Wakanda women, shoot, how fine were they? How fine are they? I want all of that.
So fine.
Oh, Carrie, this is my drawing so far. Let's see. I don't have as much as the ladies. I wish I could see your drawing. You know I'm a talker. I have been having the best conversation ever.
All right, so I think we have time for one more question. I'm not going to let the bowl pick it because I'm dying to have the bowl pick this question. It's just not picking it. So I'm going to find it and I'm going to ask it.
Okay.
That's not it. Kind of breaking protocol here, just for you, Nyree.
Uh-oh.
That's not it.
It must be a good question.
Well, I think it is. Oh, that's a good one too. The bowl makes me unfold all of them. I'm gonna be mad at it. It's really gonna make me.
It's always the last one.
It is the last one. Okay, here it is. Ready?
Okay.
If you could choose a perfect day spent in your little 6-speed red convertible, what would it look like?
OMG. Yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I would take my little 6-speed Miata convertible up the one. Everyone knows the one in SoCal. So it is the wonderful freeway where you see all the commercials when anyone's driving by the beach.
Okay.
I have an English bulldog. In real life, I have an English bulldog, Miss Blue, and she would be my passenger, and I would take her all the way to San Francisco and stop and eat along the way. All the little stops along the way up the one. That would be my perfect day, just cruising and going slow and being able to see all of that. That is what I want to do in that car. I have not done it yet, but best drive ever. Best drive ever. I could totally ditch the dog and take Brittany, especially if Brittany is my former student. That I think that is the Brittany that is there. So I had her in kindergarten, and she can't shake me. And now she's a grown woman, got her master's and finished college and everything. And she still will hang out with her teacher. So if that is you, yes, that's her. That's the Brittany that is there. She's my former student. She's getting married soon. And she still will hang out with me. So I love her for that. She keeps me updated. We keep each other updated on our stuff. So when I told her I was getting my doctorate, she's like, dang, now I got to go get my doctorate. I was like, that's right. I'm going to keep on modeling for you. We will support each other. But oh yeah, driving up the one would be fantastic in that convertible car. Oh my goodness.
I love it.
Oh yes, it did take her forever to call me Nyree and not Mrs. Clark.
Oh, I know. I've had that. I can relate.
I love that.
Now, you say 6-speed. Is it a manual transmission or is it automatic?
Oh, heck no. It is a manual. That is why I got that car. So I have a Miata 2022. It's the red one, convertible, and it has been so fun driving that car. I will tell you, my Uncle Ron had a 2-seater, and I used to look at that car too. And yep, now I have it. I got to get down low, but it's worth the getting down low for it. It's super cute. And it's been fun. Sonal and Carrie, two of my besties for work, and PLN, they've been in that car with me. So it has been fun. We take it out and around. Love it.
So fun. So fun. Also, so fun channeling Nyree.
Ah, awesome. Oh, yes, Andrea. She's been in my car too. Oh my goodness. Look at me.
Yes, you and your bulldog. I think he's got extra long ears, but they're just flowing in the breeze. They're just out and flowing in the breeze.
I love it. I love it.
So fun.
This is fantastic. Aw, I think I'm pretty positive. Oh my goodness, look at that.
Well, that's fabulous, Mandy. I love how you numbered it too. I like that style.
I love what you two ladies have just modeled too. Is like doodling and sketchnoting. It doesn't have to be a certain way. Like it is whatever is in you and how you want to express it, which is what is so powerful when students are able to do it, right? How are you going to be able to express and show what you know, show what you learned, summarize what we have? And you ladies did that so expertly. So much better than my paper, but I am still very proud of it.
You still express yourself with a visual and words. You sketchnoted.
Yeah. There you go. This was a blast. Oh, I had so much fun with you all.
This was a really good time. Yes, absolutely. I listened and it's so easy to draw when there's so many good things that you share.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I enjoyed the questions. That was a great surprise. I wasn't quite sure of the bold, but that was amazing. Thank you so much, ladies, for having me today.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for being a part of Doodle and Chat. It was so wonderful to draw and connect with your stories and your journey. And you're such an amazing educator and amazing woman. It was our pleasure to have you here with us today.
Oh, thank you. Next time I'm going to visit someone else's Doodle Chat and then I'm going to draw and post. That's what I'm going to do.
What we like to see. That's
what I'm going to do. Thank you everyone for coming too. Everyone that was in the chat. People that are East Coast, I appreciate you for staying up late.
Yes, wonderful.
We do appreciate that.
Thank you for everybody. If you were here with us live and joining us and you doodled and chatted with us, and Nyree, share your Doodle and Chat out on Twitter using hashtag Doodle and Chat, because we love to see and share with the world all the fun that we get to have here at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, usually on Wednesday, but on this very special Monday. Thank you so much, Nyree, and thank you everybody for being a part of Doodle and Chat.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye.